Larsson, oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford and join me on this chaos and disarray Borefest and transfer deadline episode is my good man Daniel. Daniel, obviously not the best of performance yesterday. Borefest, Charlotte, probably two of the worst teams I've seen in a long time of the both teams, mate. But how are you? Hope you're well, and shall we call it another therapy session today, mate? I hope you're very well.
Good evening, Ryan. Good evening, everybody. Yesterday's game was. I've ran out of words to describe it. Lackluster is the main one on my mind. I'd say they were there for the taking. I think we've seen how poorly they've started the season, and I think we made them look like a good footballing team, when in reality we know they're far from it, and even we look far from it. So I think the bookies had 0-0 at a very good price. So if anybody managed to put that on, congratulations to you. You've seen it coming a mile off, a bit like much the rest is.
It was no good, mate. Some of the comments already. Thanks for joining us, guys. Obviously, in transfer deadline. Hope you're very well. Transitional strikers as yet. One player, left winger. What the F is going on? The board of charlatans, Francis says. Ryan T says, do not hold back. Smell the Glove says, just when you think they can't fuck up anymore, even the crap guy from Chelsea doesn't want us to join us. David Wilson says we need to stop the low ball offers and pay the money. Loads of comments. I hope you're all well. I'll try and get through as much as I can. Big Alan, even everybody, hope you're well, mate. Get the parasites out of the club, aren't you? And not fit for purpose. I think there were a lot of people that will be saying the same words, Alan. Some of the comments here. There we go. Good man, wee Wally, wee Scott. Hope you're well, big man. Starting with this board. We've got Ali, even folks, where the transfer is a bit of a piss take to say the least. Loads of comments. Desmond can go. We've got Lindsay says, is that even Ryan, Daniel in the chat? Hail, hail. There's loads of comments, Daniel, but we'll just kick off with the game yesterday. Obviously, we were expecting a performance, Daniel. We didn't get one. We were expecting a reaction. That's us not beat them, I think, in 5 or 6 games. I know what people say, won the cup final, yes, but we didn't play well in 90 minutes again. For me, I don't know what is it complacency? Is it they just think they can just walk up and win these games? Is it whatever happens in these games, it's fine because we'll win the league against other teams? I don't know what the issue is, Daniel, but for me, we've not had a reaction in the first half against Livingston after the 0-0 Carrat draw. We didn't get a reaction yesterday as well, considering we got out of the Champions League. So we've not really changed the way we're playing. I've not seen a reaction. I've not seen anything changed for the start of the season. I love Brendan Rodgers. I always think he's a fantastic manager, but I'm not getting. For me, there seems a lack of reaction for the players, Alan. I don't know. Sorry, because Alan commented there. Sorry, Daniel. Because is it the lack of confidence in the players at the moment? If they hit a brick wall, there's no confidence. Is it the manager's style of play? Is it his tactics? Is it because of the noise about the transfers? Whatever it is, Daniel, there's something at the club, in my opinion. Rodgers says there's not a disconnect, but there's clear disconnect between the board, the manager, the players, and the fans were all, the majorities now are all singing for home the same hymn sheet that we need to change things. Things need to change, Daniel. But on a performance yesterday, what was your thoughts on the game? Then we'll dive into it, mate.
Poor, mate. Extremely poor. You mentioned there about how we've not really seen a reaction for these games because the front line doesn't have the quality to give us a reaction. Dyson Maeda has seemingly disappeared. Grew his hair out and dyed it, and suddenly he's back to the way he was before. But yeah, just extremely, extremely poor. Even in our business now, we see there was statements for the manager that he doesn't want to see anybody leaving. There won't be anybody leaving until somebody's brought in. Today we've seen that changed. Now we're only 2 strikers at the moment in the first team consistently are Maeda and Johnny Kenny. So yeah, it's a bad state of affairs. But just on the game, it was just so poor. We started the game, I just don't know, it took us about 10-15 minutes to try and come into the game, and then there was just so many sidewards and backwards passes. I think I seen a stat earlier that said Kasper Schmeichel had more touches of the ball than Dyson Maeda, which for a attacking team is just not good enough. There was no chance creation. I think our only major, when we actually looked up for it, was again in the last 15-20 minutes, when again we just couldn't muster anything up. VAR takes that goal away, which on any other given day may well could have stood. Now, it was offside, but we've seen them given, so I think we definitely get away with one. And then we seen a wee blip of a reaction. Definitely dominated the ball majority, but just in terms of chance creation, it was just so incredibly poor.
Good point there from Tony, and he's bang on. We had 0 shots in 45 minutes and 3 shots in total. Absolutely spot on, Daniel. That's criminal. Like I says, I was out with Alan, JP, and obviously Bev, our sponsor, Alex Beveridge, yesterday watching the football, and Dundee and Motherwell put up a better attacking threat than we did. No, that's criminal. We're meant to be this big team, and some of these players are really brilliant players, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but the manager's saying that he's not telling the players to pass it back and stuff like that, and that's not a Celtic way we played, and that's not a Celtic performance. Well, they keep doing it. This is game after game. It's been like this for months. This has just been a few games. This has been since maybe March or something. I don't know the exact date, but it's been a good few months now where it's been sideways, left, right, sideways, just tippy tappy, keep the ball. Listen, I don't mind keeping the ball, Daniel. Keep the ball, but see when you can go forward. Go forward. Like you can't go direct. I know what you're saying as well with up front, there's maybe no movement, but sometimes it's just worth hitting the ball down and chasing it on, because you seen their defence yesterday, Daniel. They're terrible. The 2 centre backs, tippy tappy, making mistakes under no pressure, and not once did we go and press. That's what's for me, Daniel. It's a press. There's no press whatsoever. There's no urgency to go and chase people down anymore. 6 months ago, January, December, whatever, maybe 7, 8 months ago, we were doing that. Last year, what about this time last year? We were beating them 3-0, annihilating them. And now you're into these games thinking, where's the goal coming from?
Yeah, mate, it's testament. We've seen it. I mean, 6 to 8 months ago, we were sitting here going, wow, this pressing, this intensity, this is incredible. And now back to a state which we seen towards the end of Rodgers' tenure last time. Stale football and performances and just consistently sidewards and backwards passing. And it's not entertaining. Like, fair enough, we can all get the result, that's all that matters, but no, we're not getting the result. Do you know what I mean? Like there's 2 of our biggest games of the season. So early in the season, we've not strengthened the squad. we've lost out in Champions League football, and then we come away from Ibrox with a point when in reality it should have been all 3. So we're in such a strong position, yet we just look so scared to do it, and match that ambition. So yeah, things need to be shook up, whatever that may be, whether it's in the boardroom or in the squad. Just something needs changed, because there's only so long fans are going to put up with this, and our patience is wearing thin if it wasn't thin already.
Aye, it's on the performance, Daniel. I thought it was really, really poor. Again, I was expecting a reaction. There was nothing. Casper Schmeichel, I did have my worries about him. I've said it on the podcast previously during the pre-season that can he be the same Casper this year with his injuries, getting older, will Sinisalo play more? We're very, very lucky that John Suter was offside, because now I'm not a goalkeeper, right? But we've all played football, we all watch football. That's a simple goalkeeping error. He had no right to go for that ball like that. He had no right to come out. See, if he's going to come out like that, Daniel, at least come out and clatter somebody. Don't come out and go like that. What is the point in coming out and just going like that? That's doing nothing. If you're going to come out and at least try and make a tackle, don't just stand still. And then I don't know what he was moaning about after the goal. I know it was offside, but it looked like he was moaning about something. Don't know what he's moaning about, but I don't know if Sinisalo now deserves a run in the team. I don't know if that's too harsh on Michael, but he's very lucky, Daniel, that Suter was offside, because see, apart from that, they didn't actually really threaten us. Like, I'm no Scales' biggest fan. Everybody who watches us knows that, right? His distribution was terrible. But see, defending wise, by the way, Scales is really good yesterday. He was aggressive in the ball, he won every header. That's all I want. See if Liam Scales does that every week. By the way, I'm happy with that. But see, when he's got the ball at his feet, he slows the game down, and he's see us passing the ball to the park, by the way, annoys me. It happened yesterday, it's not just Scales, but I'm just talking about him individually here. But I thought he was good yesterday, Daniel. When he just defends, he's good. So that's all I want Liam today, is just defend. Just be a defender. Don't be a ball, just be a defender, and let Vickers or let somebody else who's better than the ball do that. But for me, mate, I think I don't know if it's a mentality thing nowadays against him, but we used to turn up thinking, right, what is it 4, 5, 6 a day? Celtic Park, right, get an early goal and it'll crumble. But that's, for me, it's one of the worst Rangers teams I've ever seen. Tactically, defensively, they had nothing, and we didn't even try and exploit it. Like you said there, a year ago today, we had like Kuhn and guys like that. We would have absolutely run amok with just Kuhn and Kyogo and that team yesterday up front, because it's, I don't know what you feel, mate, but I never get bored watching football and Celtic. But listen, we all know the most important thing, Daniel, is I did say I'd take a draw. Listen, I'll always take a draw at Ibrox, it's fine, but when you don't perform, you don't even look like scoring, and for me, mate, that's the most disappointing thing to me, is we didn't even look like scoring.
Yeah. And I think that's everybody's frustration. I mean, there's a comment there saying they faced 50 shots in 3 games and we had 3 in the whole match. It's just not good enough. The movement just isn't there, which means the guys, like that comment says there, which means the guys further forward on the pitch aren't doing their bit. So then the defenders are having to take more time on the ball. And then that, like we say, like we know Liam Scales, even though it was a very, very, very good defensive performance on the ball, we know he does have that split-second mistake in him. So we've seen it later on in the game. Also, Carter Vickers starts to pick up the ball and drive, and then we start to open up and we look, oh, maybe we'll get a chance or two here. And then the movement in the forward lines just isn't there. We've seen it with the throw-in. There was a throw-in where I think it's either Kieran Tierney or Anthony Ralston takes it. Nobody's moving, and then they throw it down the line, and the Rangers fullback just picks it up and runs. Callum McGregor decides to switch off on the edge of his box 2 minutes before the game ends, putting us under pressure for just no reason. And it just, major frustration, mate, because we walked into that game knowing how poor they are, and we see it. We've seen it in the post-match interviews. He says that's the talking point for them to now go forward in the season. That's their positive result, to move forward and keep and build on that. That should have been an opportunity. If we had the right players and the right system, then that would have been what we're used to. It was just 4 or 5, but now we're just putting in lacklustre performances consistently, and it's cost us the Champions League. We're very lucky that we've started the season so well, but moving forward, it's worrying if in these big games it's this slow passing it out the park, no movement in the forward areas, and the squad is very, very thin, in my opinion, and now even thinner with Adamida moving to Swansea.
We'll all touch on him, mate, because again, it's a strange one as well. Robbie, good point for Robbie. Obviously, Liam Scales, I thought Liam Scales was brilliant, Robbie. Anybody who watches us knows I'm not his biggest fan, but you've got to praise when praise is needed, and I thought he was brilliant yesterday. When he defends, he's actually all right, he is, but it's when you're trying to play through the back, it's like, hey, come on, Liam. But on yesterday, I thought he was our best defender. I've seen Tierney getting a bit of stick. I didn't think Tierney was that bad. I actually thought some of his stuff was actually pretty decent. They didn't target the left-hand side, and normally with Greg Taylor, they target that left-hand side. They didn't target yesterday. Yeah, Robert, he was really good. Totally agree with you, mate. But I really do want to talk about McGregor now, Daniel. I spoke about it a while ago on here. I think we've all said it, to be fair, but when do we start thinking about not replacing him in terms of he's going to go to the team and he's no seen again, but when do we start thinking about taking him out of the team here and there, replacing with somebody longer term, because he's only about 31 and I think a lot of the games are they're maybe catching up on him. I don't know if it's because he's not getting any support with him as well, and maybe he needs a bit of help now because he's getting older, and maybe he's not getting. He's still a good player, but he needs a kick up the bum. I don't know if it means that Callum needs to be on the bench. Just because he's a captain and one of your better players doesn't mean that you're immune to being on the bench, Callum. I think he'll know himself that he's not playing well, and I just think, because Alan Cummins again there, Daniel, that everything's happened at the club now, the Champions League, no signing players, then that performance yesterday, the performance has not been great. Everything's just all, I don't know if McGregor's just everything on him as well, and he's trying to help the team and he's trying to look at himself. But for me, I try my best and no give players any jip, but sometimes as much as he's been amazing for us, I think Callum definitely has to have a wee look at himself, because that yesterday could have cost the game, and that's a lack of concentration. That's meant to be a guy who is experienced, and you don't mess about there. If you're not confident about the ball, kick out the park. Don't
Yeah.
try and play for the back. So I just think for me, mate, that McGregor's definitely we'll touch on attack as well, but McGregor's definitely got to get himself kind of better, mate, because he's definitely
Yeah.
performing the way it should be.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen him obviously retire for international to focus on prolonging his Celtic career, but for so long now, there's just been nobody else that can play that position. So he's not really had any competition to put up with. So I definitely think that somebody needs in that position who can do that job, and then he can sit and go. Obviously, as club captain and all that, I'm not saying replace him, but somebody in that position where he can go, right, I need to step up here. I need to make sure that I'm playing consistent, because we've seen it from him for years. I used to say that he was one of the most consistent players in Scottish football, but recently with his age and stuff, it's starting to creep in where he's a wee bit inconsistent, and then everybody takes notice and goes, oh, maybe this, maybe that. And then he comes up with a string of games where he's incredible again. So I don't know if it's just maybe a mentality thing with all the pressure on the squad and the players just now. If obviously he's carrying a lot of that being captain, but he needs help in that midfield. He needs somebody who can step into that role if maybe he's no doing as well, because nobody's immune to getting benched. There's not one player in world football that hasn't been benched at some point because they've not been playing well. So, something needs done, because at the moment the squad are too used to being that starting role and being like, oh, it's all right, I'll continue in that role, because we don't have anybody else there to come in. So, on Callum, that error at the end, man, I just couldn't believe it. But the bigger question is, has a shout for man on came there? Because, I mean, that's basics. You learn that. I don't know, mini kickers. If somebody's behind you, you give them a shout. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know what's happened there, but it just looked like a total, complete lapse in concentration, and it's just not good enough, man. Something needs done.
Big Grab says, hey ho guys, Callum was out on his feet after 90 minutes, needed subbed, looking at Engels attacking Nigrin. Maeda, we're all in the same space. Bernardo's capable, needs to be given a chance. I agree, Big Grab. I don't know what's happening with Bernardo. I don't know the reason why he's not getting game time. I really don't know. Is it maybe he's no fit yet, or he's? I generally don't know. But the midfield for me, Daniel, I think we're far too nice, mate. We just accept
Yeah.
getting tackled. Nobody's putting a tackle in. There's no aggression. There's no. I'm not saying going in and hurting somebody, but put a tackle in. Go and tell somebody you're there. An early marker, make a statement. And we're far too nice. We're all technically gifted, nice, tippy-tappy players. We've no got somebody like a Brown, a Wanyama. Even, by the way, it might sound daft, but see, even like years ago for Rangers, they had guys like Christian Daly, maybe no good on the ball, but he would tackle for you, he would harry, he would actually, he'd be physical. I know it's a dying breed, Daniel, in football, but we need somebody like that, because like, for me, Nigrin, I thought Nigrin was terrible. I don't know if it's because it was a big game occasion and maybe it passed him by, but I thought Nigrin was really lazy. We all sat in the pub and watched it, and we said all the exact same thing. Engels was getting a bit of flack. I thought Engels wasn't great at all, but he was trying. He was trying to get the ball. He was trying. Hatate, people could talk about him as well. Not seen him for months. I think you could be right, Alan. I don't know if some of these guys are just maybe too comfortable, mate. I don't know what you think of that, or the viewers think of that, but I think maybe just some of these guys are too comfortable now. They know the manager's going to play them. There's no depth to bring in and take over them, and then they might need competition now.
Definitely. I think we've seen it for a while now that we're such a technically gifted midfield that snapping into tackles and winning the ball back so intensely is kind of a fading. I mean, we see it in obviously other midfields, whether that's in Scotland or Europe, that if you have even one player like that, the benefits is immense. So we need somebody like that. I think Rio Hatate towards just before the substitution showed some of that. I don't know whether that came from frustration, but he seemingly started, which isn't like him, I'll say that. He started to snap into some 50-50s and get stuck in, but the biggest frustration there is, why is it taking so long for us to then do that? We should be like that for the start. I think at times Benjamin Nigrin was running in slow motion. I mean, obviously we know he's not the fastest man in the park, but at least show some desire to get on the end of the ball. I think our new winger, Barak Wisha, I think at times he just looked
nervous,
mate. Like, I mean, we've seen it so many times. People flung in at the deep end and they thrive. So he just looks scared to take on James Tavernier at times, and then there's ones where balls are getting played to him, and all he needs to do is just drop the shoulder and hit the byline. Yet he's turning back in and passing it back in field, so he's playing it too safe. And then I definitely think the only player, even though it was a poor performance all round, the only player who looked like wanting to create something was Arnie Engels, and unfortunately none of it did come off. But we see he's getting the ball at his feet and whipping it into the box straight away. There's no one on the end to get it, but he is looking to create that opportunity, which again is something that we're needing. So it's just the intensity in the midfield, moving the ball forward is just not there. And then I don't know if that's a system thing, because teams have picked up now that everything comes through Callum McGregor. So if teams have figured that out and they're putting 2 men on him, change it.
Yep.
Why are you still trying to force it? Because it's not working.
I think you're bang on, mate. If something's not working, you need to change it. He's kept the same formation, the same tactics. He's saying that he's no telling to pass him back. I understand confidence might do that to you, but every game, it's happening all the time. And obviously, a lot of the comments are all obviously both kind of touch on obviously the board as well and the transfer situation. But overall, in the game yesterday, Daniel, what do you think's the thing that we really need to improve on into these games? If you want to call these Glasgow Derby games, because for whatever reason, we just don't seem anywhere near up for it as we have previously in previous years. We've not beaten them in over a year now in 90 minutes. For me, it's unacceptable. People might think I'm maybe being too harsh on that, but a Celtic manager not to win in 5 or 6 games against your rivals is not good enough. And considering we've got all the finances, the infrastructure, the meant to be top manager, the top players in the country, I'm not saying you need to go and wipe the forwards at every game, but you should be winning more out of the last 5 or 6 games than we have been, mate. So definitely it seems to be, whatever reason, you've got Russell Martin, Barry Ferguson, and Philip Clement have tactically beat him. I know we drew it yesterday, but Russell Martin kind of had his number in terms of the tactics wise. He knew how we were going to play. We knew how they were going to play, and we didn't even exploit it. Every other team plays against them, has scored against them and tried to exploit it.
Yep.
So why did we know that? And we're meant to have the quicker players, the better manager, the better and we didn't lay a glove on them, Daniel. So what's your thing you think that we need to really improve on against them in the future?
Intensity, tempo, and just turning up for the game, mate. I think we walk into these games thinking, oh, it's just another league game, whereas they've got their mentality nailed straight down. They're walking into these games treating it the way it should be. It's a huge game, whereas I think Celtic are too relaxed about these games.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be relaxed about them. You're walking into this, you should be up for it. You should be coming out the blocks flying. I mean, we've seen it with Kieran Tierney early doors. He was flying into everything. That's the way it should be. It's too relaxed. It's too lackluster. And to not beat them in 4 or 5 games, frankly, ridiculous with the squad that we've had, with the finances that we have. It's just not good enough, mate. I think that if we come out we just need to start coming out the blocks and actually hitting the ground running. And then if it's not working, changing it, because to be in a position where Alloa Athletic have went there and scored 2 goals, and we didn't even have a shot on target until the 45th minute. It's a joke, mate.
Aye, it's probably me pulling it up, mate. And you get Stephen Presley saying that he won't win trophies and all that, and then he's got Ibrox and got him putting in a good performance for a Dundee team who he's actually starting to a wee bit of joy with in terms of, but aye, overall, mate, really poor. The players for me are they've no set him up at the moment. I don't know if that's confidence or it is the outside noise or the man. For me, it's a combination of it, and Daniel, but it's not good enough, mate. The Champions League results are good enough, and Chris Sutton was absolutely bang on yesterday. Obviously, I only seen the before the game stuff this morning, and he was bang on. Obviously, Neil Lennon and Chris Boyd and even James McFadden was coming on the certain side. They were kind of trying to butter up the board and say these things take time. Well, things take time. How come Dolberg's away to Ajax within 24 hours?
Yeah, not even, mate.
It's not even that. Transfers do take time, but if you want a player, you'll get a player. If you really want that guy for a few days, you can get him. Like Chris Sutton says, every other team is getting players in few days. Like Rangers were linked with Ant-Man 4 or 5 days later. He's signed. We were linked with Barrett Wishaw last year, and he's only just signed. It's for me again. I'd firstly, who do you point the finger to, Daniel? Is it the board? Is it the recruitment team? Is it the manager? And who's, for you, mate, who's the biggest culprit, say, what's going to make you at the football club?
For me, it's the higher ups, because we've seen how successful we can be under a regime where that's who you want. All right, how much? Boom, go and get them. And we've seen it under Ange that when certain people weren't in charge of the football club anymore, that it was done within a matter of days. I mean, I think Kyogo was signed within under a day. I mean, I went to bed and woke up and we'd signed him, and I was like, I'd never even heard about that. So, yeah, the people in the boardroom are too stale, and for certain individuals to be allowed back in when they were ousted for their poor decision making before just proves that sometimes you need change, and you can come back and say, oh, this, that, but it won't be any different. So something needs to change in the boardroom for me. That is just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to theirs, and I encourage them to share it. But for me, it's the higher ups, mate. Something needs to change because we cannot continue to operate like this.
It's for me. It's really bad, mate. Jared O'Donnell says the board, the manager, and the players are all to blame. A collective. In terms of performances, Gerald, I agree with you, mate. The manager and the players need to take flack for performances, but Chris Sutton's bang on, Daniel, about if Celtic. It's all right, Chris Boyd blaming the manager and the players. Listen, we've all done that about the performances recently and the European exploits that we didn't do properly. But Chris Sutton's right. If he was given Barrett Leisha, given a top striker, given a left back to help Tierney beforehand, and no signing guys like Anamura, who's probably getting loaned with the looks at potentially, Celtic would have in a far better place to be the best version of Celtic. He says it in his presser. We've all said it on here. We're not asking Celtic to go and spend £80 million on a player or £50 million on two players. We're just wanting Celtic to get the best players on the park within the budget that we've got. And it's the biggest budget we've ever had in years. And the board have kept this money away for a rainy day, etc., etc. Well, maybe this rainy day is maybe coming sooner than you think. Hierarchy, because you've not qualified for the Champions League. For me, Daniel, no games are free pass, but in terms of the quality of opposition, you might never get that again. It should have been a easy enough tie to get through, especially at Celtic Park. Easy money in the bank, and then you go and hopefully strengthen again to make the best version you can. Looking at Rangers, I know Celtic should be steamrolling Rangers with the finances they've got, with the manager that they've got here, with some of the players already here, build on that. And that game yesterday was, if that, no, I think we undersell ourselves in Scotland, right? I think Celtic can buy some better players than maybe some fans think we can. That's just my opinion. But see, looking at that yesterday, Daniel, why would you want to come here? That's meant to be the two biggest teams in Scotland. The highlight of the calendar year is their games. You would turn that off if you're one of their fans. If you think that, oh, I've heard this derby's ferocious, it's good. Where's all the tackles? I know VR's in now, so you can't do a lot now, but nobody's putting tackles in. It's powder puff stuff. But in terms of this section now is obviously on the transfer deadline stuff and the board, Daniel, for me, it's clear incompetence for me now. He says that he wasn't going to let, manager comes out and says the club aren't letting either go unless he signs somebody. Now, we're obviously live at the moment, so we don't know what's happening right now. I've got Sky Sports on the now, but I'm on here, so I'm not going to look at that. But I don't know that the actual, what's happening, who was signing on loan, I don't know. But we've let him go without having somebody right now to come in or before he goes. He's let Kyogo go, you've let Kuhn go, and Adida go. No matter what you think about Adida, right, he does score 20 goals, right? Kuhn and Kyogo is 72 or 73 goals that's left this team running about roughly like that. You've not replaced him. It's absolutely criminal that for me that they're working like this, Daniel. And the only way this is going to change is if there's change in the boardroom or scouting department as well.
Yeah.
Paul Tisdale, David Pleat, Sharon Brown, Chris Mackay, Peter Lawwell, Dermot Desmond, Tom Allison, and there's somebody else in the boardroom. For me, this is just my opinion only. I'm never somebody who really says people should be sacked or lose their jobs or get out my club. I've never been like that. But the last few months, it's 53 goals and 20 assists. That's what I meant, Scott. Oh, and goal contributions 72, 73, Daniel. So no just goals. Sure, Scott. It's, I don't normally say all this, but some of them, Michael Nicholson, that was it as well. Some of them should be resigning tomorrow or getting their jaws for Dermot Desmond. Obviously, Dermot Desmond's not going to sack himself. He's one of the major shareholders. But some of them should not be in the football club longer term because they're stopping the growth for the football club. They're stopping us progressing. Managers have all said this. Players have said this. I seen it was actually, I think it was 2 times the podcast, he Twitter. So I'll credit him for this. It's no my information. But they're putting up things and they're bang on, by the way. They let Lagerbielke go early. Nothing happened, came back. They've let Tilly wait to get and go. Yang wait to maybe go. They're treating the players like shit. They're treating the fans like shit. Treating us with contempt. And it's got to stop. It cannot continue. It's all right saying all he's won doubles and trebles, but think of the stuff that you could be doing, the players you could be buying, the things you could be doing. It's all right saying we've made all this money. What's the point in selling Nicholas Kuhn for 15, whatever? I know there was different fees. If you don't want to replace him, what's the point in selling either for £6 million if you don't replace him? There's no point in selling your players if you're not going to bring in the same quality or replace them just to keep it in the bank. It's absolutely pointless, Daniel. And some of these people need to go. They need to change, or our football club is not going to move on. It needs modernised, and we're all sick to the back teeth, mate.
Yeah, definitely. It seems to be that the boardroom in place just now are not interested in growing the football club. They're too focused on growing their own bank account, which for us, the fans, is simply not it. Because we invest our money, we invest our time, sinking so much money into this club to see it in the best position that it possibly can be in, which it is right now. And we're sitting with a squad that's just not good enough. I mean, before we signed Balikwisha, of course, I seen a stat on Twitter saying that with the new prices of the season tickets, it only took 5,000 fans to cover the transfer business that we'd done. So if you're charging a fan £500, £600, it only takes 5,000 to cover the amount of business that they've done, which is frankly ridiculous. Many people are in agreement that people in the boardroom need to be held accountable. They should be leaving the club, in my opinion, because they're not interested in growing Celtic the football club. They're too interested in growing Celtic the business. And we've seen that with obviously letting vital players of the squad go and not sinking money in to replace them, and then obviously it's cost us Champions League football. So for me, there's no other way to see it. Obviously, I welcome anybody's opinions. I would talk to anybody about anything respectfully, but for me, there's just no other way about it. It's not good enough, and it needs to change.
It's not good enough, mate. Like you say, it's all about opinions, though. We all don't think like this, and listen, that's how people see football. I'm no right, I'm no an expert, so I'm just a guy on this, putting content out. Myself, you, JP Allen, Barry Manning. Obviously, Barry, you take his opinion because his knowledge and how high level he's played it. You can take his knowledge really highly. But us, we're just fans. We don't know everything. We're just putting our opinion across, and if people like it, that's fine. If they don't, debate, like he says, talk. This is why we do this. Have some of the commenters are all having a try with each other, which is brilliant. It's all therapy for us. We all need it. After this kind on. But no, I'm normally, Daniel, I've never really been, the last while I've been quite quiet on things. I don't really say he should be sacked or she should be sacked or they should be gone or get them at my club. But see, recently, it's got wee mummers about the COVID season again in terms of the spending money, and you can't, no big club, elite working clubs works the way we're working. You do not let your major asset go without having somebody to come in. So if the recruitment team have had people and the money men aren't letting them do it because of their certain value, etc. But see, what I found interesting, Daniel, was a few weeks ago, Brendan done a presser, and he says we need quality, but it's always like the value for money. So it's what they feel is value for that player, right? I get that, but who are they to tell the manager that you can't get a player to make your team better just because we want a better value, or we want to sell on in the future, or we want to buy cheap and sell on dear? Not every signing is going to be a Diza Maeda who, for no sold, by the way, we might not get any money on Maeda in a year's, 2 years' time. Carter Vickers, it's it. You can't. No, well, Vickers obviously was a lot more money than Maeda, but there was chat about him going a few weeks ago and last year. He's not gone, so they might not make money on him. But not every player we sign, Daniel, has to make money. Like Dolberg, right? They might have thought, right, we'll only bid 8 or 9, we'll try and get him. He'll come in and score goals, but there's no selling value. Now, I don't know information about Dolberg. This is the way Celtic work. Right, so if we pay £10 million for him, he might come in and do well for us, but we can't sell him on because he's 27. I still think you can get, because Newcastle are signing the boy, I think, is it Wisha? And he's 29, I think, for mega money. They're signing him for now. They don't care about major assets, longer term selling. They want success now. I get the project thing. I don't mind the old project. I don't mind buying cheap to try and sell on for good. But not every single player you sign has to make the club money. The main thing is to make the club successful. If they're successful on the park, you'll make money. You'll win games, you'll win doubles, trebles, leagues. You'll do better in Europe. You'll get merchandise or fans who'll buy the steps for marquee signings. You'll get European money. You'll get everything will be booming. But they think that you need to make money or pay £1 million. You know what? He'll be good. Nobody knew Matt by him. It took Matt O'Reilly a while to turn good. Matt O'Reilly didn't come good right away. Aaron Moy was playing at him, so it took him a bit of time. So no every sign is going to be an impact player for £1 million and come in. Like yesterday. The Matter was all right, but you're depending on a guy who for £1.5 million, he's not had the best of seasons last year. The manager says you had to assess him. He didn't play against certain teams recently, and then he throws him in a derby game. So he won't put him on against Cardiff to try and win your game, but he'll put him on at ibrox. The full thing at the club right now for me, Dan, just doesn't. I try and keep myself quiet. But now it's very frustrating, Daniel, and we just can't keep running the club like this. It's all right making money. Financially, we're very well run, fantastic, but you need to put that money on the park.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see other clubs around the world are managing that very easily. I mean, a certain Belgian team came to Scotland and absolutely ran riot. Home and away, their transfer model and how they go about it seems to be the fit for European football, whereas our board and direction, like I said, and like you've been saying, mate, they're only focused on making money. And for us, the fans, that's just not what football's about. We go to Celtic Park to see our team play in these big games. We see them, we buy the kits, we fund everything that goes into the club. And for the disconnect between the fans and the board to just keep growing and growing and growing, it just shows how little that they do care, because the communication between fans and board is practically non-existent. It just shows, mate, that if they keep operating this way, something's going to go very, very wrong. And I hope that it doesn't, because we've seen it before in our biggest stage. But I did say earlier, before the season even started, if we don't do business early, we don't do business properly, things will start to follow the pattern of the 10 in a row season. And although we've started the season very strongly, I don't see it going long term. I can see more and more cracks start to appear. and that's not what we want. We want everybody on side, and it's crazy to think less than 6 months ago, before that ball was kicked in that cup final, that is one of the strongest connections between fans that we've ever had. And now we're in a position where some people want the board gone, some people are saying it's not the board, it's the manager, some people are saying it's not the manager, it's the squad. There's so much divide now. So aye, things need to change, mate. And if a business isn't getting run to the satisfaction of the people that are putting money into it, the shoe that loses your job.
It says, Daniel, I know there's people that might not like what we're talking about. There might be people that are for the board, or positive. Listen, that's absolutely fine. I know people. This might be weird. I'm trying to do this as nice as I possibly can and be respectful, but it's hard when you've got feelings about a club you support and you want the best for the club, and you see your club not getting run properly, as in terms of the players on the park, the quality, to give Celtic the best chance possible. They're run well. The back sheets are brilliant. The financially were brilliant. We're set up for years. We're in a good place. So that's when you go at a power of strength to make sure you stay ahead. It's not just about beating Rangers. I seen Chris Boyd as well on Sky saying to Chris Sutton, aye, but do what in Europe? Well, keep progressing. All you can do is try. Like Sutton says, the best version of Celtic is what you need. And if that gets past the format or it doesn't, but you're given the best chance to progress. Right now, as much as I'm criticising the tactics and the players, the manager has not got at his disposal the best chance to make Celtic better. And I'm big on, I think Rodgers, Daniel, needs certain players to play in his system, or his system fails. He needs quick players, dynamic, direct wingers. He needs a really good, powerful top striker, and he's not got that. I still love Celtic. I love watching Celtic, but there's definitely a disconnect between. Brendan says there's no, but we can only look in and what's given out to us in the media and conferences, and we can only look in and out. There's definitely something there between the board, the manager, the players, the fans. Everybody's not aligned. And under Angie's, when Celtic are aligned, we're a, I don't want to say a powerhouse, but we're a fantastic club to play at. We are really good, and the players are flying. They're doing well in the league. Doing well. This club's got massive amounts of potential, and that's just the feeling for me, Daniel, is we're not living up to the potential that we can do to make Celtic the best we can. The fans' ambition, how wild it can be, we're fans, we can always dream. But the fans, in my opinion, only, this is not anybody else's view, are maybe at high standards, or maybe what we maybe can't get, or what we should be getting, right? But the standards, here we go, right, Daniel? No, let you back in this, right? Ange, this is some of the guys he signed, right? And they were all guys to make Celtic better. Alistair Johnson, Jackie Marcus, Hatate, Maeda, all they guys. Abada, Jota, Vickers. He signed Kobayashi, Abelgard, Jamie McCarthy. Yes, they weren't great, but the guys that he signed, 7 or 8 guys who some I've just mentioned, were first team players. They made the squad better. They made the depth better. When was your last window we done that? The last few windows, the standards of players, the recruitment, for me, mate, I'm going to be blunt, it's appalling. The way we're doing it, Hearts have got a better recruitment process than us now, but this Jamestown thing, I've just lost a word, mate.
Well, I'll put this to you, Ryan. The players you mentioned there that Ange signed at the club, who are still here, are still our best players. Minus Kieran Tierney.
Mm-hmm.
So me and you spoke about this earlier, before the window and all that. We said the nucleus of your team is still very, very Ange. So if we have got it so spot on in that era, under different people, I might add, then why have the same people been allowed back in? Why? I don't understand it, mate. And for me, it's just no good enough. Like you said, the last quality, consistent windows we've seen, strength after strength put into the football club, was in that Ange period. So, yeah, it can't continue for me. The divide is just going to keep growing up until, sadly, what the people who raise the concerns and say, well, this is what can happen, until they're proven right, there's always going to be disconnect. And because people are hopeful, people want to see the best version. We all do. We all want to see Celtic at their best. We all love the club. Some people have more views where they're like, well, this is what can go wrong, rather than, well, this is what we're doing right. So it's all about opinions. But we can sit here, and that's a great point there. The only way that things can change is if these guys decide to walk, which, for the amount of money that they're making, I do not see happening. So I don't know. We're at a bit of a stalemate right now. So all we can do is keep supporting the club to the best of our ability. But for me, people in charge of this football club need to have a long, hard look whether they're the right people to continue in this role. Because for me, nowhere near it.
Again, I think you're right, Daniel. They've been very, very good for us in the past in terms of how we're set up. Financially, we're very, 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 very comfortable. But we've had majority of the same board for the last 20 odd years. It's got to change. There's got to be a modernisation. There's got to be change. Again, I know what I came into the comment I was. But how you say D McDonald? Yeah, you're right. What we're doing right now, will it change anything? Probably no. But the more fans talk and the more fans do things, if it's no go to Europa League games, if it's no buying the merch, if it's doing what happened with Dialer where the fans didn't go, even though we were winning trophies and etc., the fans weren't happy. And by the way, it'll be the same for them across the water. If the fans want Russell Martin out, they'll get him out. The fans decide a lot of things. If they don't go to the games, they don't buy the Europa League packages, they don't buy the Rangers strips, etc. But they thought Rangers mob will take note of it. Oh, listen, here we are. This is going to change here. It's the same as I'm not telling anybody what to do because that's up to you. But I agree, this is probably the only way that you're probably going to get change is no fill the board's pockets. The fans are, for some guys, paying loads of money, going to away games, and all we're asking for, doesn't matter if you go to games or no, you're still a football fan. People can't go to games for certain reasons, family reasons, health reasons, work issues, or maybe abroad, right? Whatever, right? We've all got things in our life that we can't go to football games, right? But we're all fans fae afar. We all love seeing Celtic. We've all got a view on what we think should be right or wrong or whatever, right? But all we want is the best thing for the club. That's a bit. People might think it's negative or it's positive. Whatever people think that we're talking about or anybody else, that's absolutely fine. But every fan just wants the best for the club, whether it's positive chat, negative chat, or whatever. We all just want the best, Daniel. And right now, as it currently stands, are the club, the hierarchy, even the recruitment team, are they all pulling in the same direction to make Celtic the best we can? And for me, the answer is no.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Just the whole, we spoke about it earlier in the season, just the whole recruitment process seems so out of touch recently. And we just don't understand why, because there's no communication on it there. Yeah, just everything from scouting, coaching, youth setup, everything seems off with the squad. But from a business side, we're booming. But from a footballing side, things seem to be falling apart, mate. And it's so strange to see, considering how strong the squad was previously. Now we're seeing the manager going, right, this is who I want. And the businessmen are turning around to him and going, we're not willing to do that. I don't understand how people expect a football club, just a footballing squad, to grow if you do not bring in quality when you let quality leave.
It sounds simple, doesn't it?
It does, but there's so many things involved with it, mate, and this is just my opinion, but see the Yang, and there we go, that comment just there about this situation. We had somebody lined up because we were letting Yang go to Birmingham. That Yang deal fell through, and we went, oh no, we don't want him anymore then. Why? Pay the money. If you've identified him in your scouting and you've went to go and progress that deal, obviously you're expecting somebody to leave. Bring him in the door, and then if he doesn't leave, then Yang's got some good competition if he stays at the club. Or if he does leave, I mean, somebody else comes in for him and you've got that cover there. But we're only fans, so we don't know the ins and outs. But we can only share our opinions, and it's been a very good chat, especially in the comments tonight. We can only share our opinions and discuss it. But it's, for me, it's just strange time for the amount of money that is sitting there in the club, and it's just not being spent on quality. Even the comments there about the stadium, it's starting to look a bit worn down.
Tired.
Starting to look a bit worn down. So spend that money. I mean, we've got disco lights there, but it's like an old fallen down building, but it's all right. Look, the lights in my house. No got a front door, but it's all right. Moan in, see my lights. I don't understand it, but something needs done. Whether for me, that's the people upstairs need to have a real question mark over their heads.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Obviously, there was potential winger coming in, i.e. the snoozing winger from Hammarby. Obviously, nothing signed yet, so don't really want to talk too much on him because I don't know much about him. We'll obviously, during the week, we'll obviously touch on him more, but I do want to touch on last bit of the night, Daniel. Obviously, you mentioned Yang there. It's obvious the manager's not fancying him, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious, right? Because he wouldn't be letting him go. It's the same, by the way. I know he says that he doesn't mind if either went or he stayed. We're happy for him to stay, and he didn't want to stay. Well, why even entertain a bid then? If you like Adam Mida and you rate him, why would you let him go then? If you think that you liked him as a player, obviously the money is maybe, to be fair, by the way, getting £6 million plus £1 million add-ons is a fantastic deal, I think, to get some of the money back. But he's obviously no fancy Yang. Simple, right? He says that he had to keep him for a while because of nobody else to come in, and he's been here for nearly 3 years, no got in the team. Harler scored a goal, Harler done assist, £3 million for me, so it's a good deal to Birmingham. Even if that deal's off, like you've just said, the boy Benson for Burnley, why still no? But apparently Charlton signed for Fana, so it's another one. It looks like it's get away face, Daniel. But if you like that boy Benson and you've identified him, bring him in. Forrest is aging. He's never knew the Forrest he was. Josh still out injured. You don't know how good Barrett Wisha is yet. If you keep Yan, you keep Yan. We need wingers. So why no bring one in? We still need to sign one anyway, even if Yang stays. So
I know.
But I'll leave that last one to you, mate.
I mean, with the winger that is looking to come in the new, I mean, is this no the guy who we offered, was it 2.5 million, and they went, nah, we want 5, and then we put 2 bids in after
something like that,
didn't they reach their valuation?
But now they're meeting the valuation.
Why not just do it as soon as they turn around and go, nah, we want that? Why put in another 2 bids going, but we might get it? I just don't understand it, mate. This low balling system for me is just no the way a top football club operates. If you've got that money there and that's how much they say, and you definitely have identified this person as somebody that you want in your team to improve them, pay the money and get them. No.
I've seen a comment as well, sorry, for Jerry. I'm sure that was true. I don't know if he could come here for Fana due to the international thing. So I don't know if that's why he went to Charlton. But again, It's not one, but potentially we'll see if that's the case then, Daniel, that Chelsea can't loan him to us because of that rule. Surely the club know about that, mate, no? Surely you should
Exactly.
know that. Surely you should know that Chelsea can't loan players to you due to that. So why even try to get somebody that you can't get? Am I going
Just the
silly
fact
buggers
that
here?
just the fact that a player has picked to play for Charlton Athletic over Celtic Football Club is embarrassing, and it shows how poor the business that we have done in the transfer market is, that somebody has went and picked Charlton or Celtic. So if, and like you says, mate, if that is that rule that we can't get that player because of that reason, surely the people in charge of that deal would know, or surely they would get in contact. It'd be like, we might be interested in him. Is there any reason that we can't get him? No, we're playing chases, like we said, spot on, plunge, spot on. Now we're playing desperation cards, and like we seen last season, deals dragged out, and we ended up paying more than what we should have. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. If Celtic sign guys in the positions that we need them by the end of the window, I'll be happy. If they don't, then something really, really needs to change, regardless, in my opinion. But it seems to just be panic stations now. Because the fact that Yang couldn't even get in the team last season is now a starting winger. We can't get anybody in to back him up. We're entertaining bids for guys that we've said we can't let go just now. We're selling players who the manager have come out and said they won't leave until somebody comes in. It's laughable, mate.
I know there'll be people wanting to try and find positives. The only positive I can say is we're unbeaten in the league. We went ibrox and we didn't lose. That's probably the only positive I can say. In terms of the league, yes, it's a decent start, points total wise. But performance levels has to be better. We all keep saying we won't be that bad. Well, I said it at half time. Surely we'll come out the second half a better. We weren't. But again, Danny, we could probably talk all night. There's a lot of comments in the comments chat that I've obviously not been able to get through because it's been pretty busy tonight. Again, thanks to viewers and commenters. Thanks a lot for your contribution tonight. Myself and Daniel try to get through as much as we can there. I know it's still maybe 2 hours to go, so hopefully we'll be celebrating a few deals, but I might just need to sit with some bleach, Daniel. I mean, need to send you some as well, mate, if you want some. But we'll see how we get on in the next 2 hours if we can pull something out the bag. But for me, even the fact that I was sorry, as T McDonald says to you, Daniel, to add what you're saying, it's only September and we're relying on Forest staying fit. Aye, good point to what you were saying there, Daniel. So let's just hope we get a few players in. We definitely need it. Sligo boy says home. Yeah, home still on loan, I think, at the end of the year. Be comment there, smell off. Tough night, lads. Aye. Cheers, mate. Try your best. Like I says, even though it's good, you come on, it's good when it's no doing well, if you want to call it, you still need to come on. And also, we're still doing well in the league, but in terms of performance-wise and the transfer situation, it's not very good, Daniel. And you've definitely got to come on and still front these things. And again, some fans might not like some of the things we've said. Some fans maybe want to be positive and try. Listen, we all want to be positive. We all want to put a brilliant spin on the club, but I think it's very, very, very hard to be really positive right now when the squad is needing strengthening massively. Casper, McGregor, the manager, the fans, we're all wanting the same thing. And by the looks of it right now, the recruitment team and the board haven't done it for us as it stands right now. But we'll see how we go in the next 2 years. But overall, things need to change. For me, some people in the boardroom should be, in my opinion, either resigning or they should be getting the jotters from the hierarchy at the top level. What happened? Probably no. Thanks, Will. Hope you're well. But for me, Dan, it's not going to happen, mate. But we'll just need to go for there. We will be back on Wednesday, and we'll let some of this boil over. And we're back on Wednesday, hopefully with some positivity, Daniel. But again, mate, thanks for your time. Hope you're very well to the rest of the night. To the commenters and viewers, thanks again. Please like and subscribe to the podcast. There's a 420 at the moment watching, so thanks a lot for your support. Please like and subscribe. It is free and it helps us put more content to you, and it gets us more out there on YouTube for your viewing figures as well. So thanks a lot for your time tonight. Until Wednesday night, I'll see you all soon. Take care and hail, hail.
Sets up Larson here. Larson, oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!